Hi everyone, welcome to another video from Data Stream Academy. So yesterday we talked about how to be a better problem solver, right? So today we are going to talk about how we can approach a problem, right? So now we learned yesterday, if you have and watched, please watch that video for day 3. So day 3 talked about like what are the areas which we need to think when we solve a problem. And today's topic we are going to talk about how you have to approach that's one step ahead, right? Like when there is an issue coming in. So this is more context about a leader, I would say, and not on the technical side. But let us see, try covering all both the areas, how to approach a problem. So first we need to understand the context, like why this problem is arrived, and like how to reframe the problem. Like that means like maybe somebody might be sharing this from purely from their perspective, like if it is a technical or non-technical issue. So you'll be listening from their end, but you have to reframe in such a way that okay, how this might have happened, right? You have to understand all the sides of it, and then okay, what we have to see if we have to accomplish a result, right? So we are going to talk detailed about each area, but the thing is like the minimum expectation when you approach a problem is like understand it and list like what goes in what go for, that is trade-offs, and finally like act with ownership, right? If you are like going to solve that problem, you should take the ownership and the set the expectation with the stakeholders that you are going to solve this problem. That is how you build the trust. So let us go deep dive into each areas one by one. So first is like pause before reacting. So what does that mean, right? So when you hear like okay, there is a conflict. If you are being a leader, the first thing you might hear is like okay, there is a conflict between teams, or like there is an issue going on. Don't react. Understand it. What could be the problem, right? Why it may have arisen. Like list all the pros and cons. Understand, like keep bias and all these things aside. Try to understand what could be the problem, what might be the reason. And you being a leader, you are responsible for the system, not just for one or two people, right? You have to understand that from all the perspective. Then you should start acting accordingly. You're not supposed to just react like some problem is coming on your way. First, as I said, understand the context and constraints, like okay, why it might have happened. Okay, what is the best way to solve this, right? And then go to the impact. So before you jump into problem, you should be completing all this area. Understand the context and identify like who may have involved. It's like either technical or not technical. There will always be stakeholders like who may have impacted with this issue, right? Maybe if there is a conflict and from your deliverable is going to impact it, or maybe in some cases it might be something else. So you have to understand who are the stakeholders and how this is going to impact, right? So that impact help you to list the solutions, what is the best way to solve this problem. Some of the solution you might have to involve all the parties, understand the problem. Some of the cases you need to understand and act on a technical way, like maybe you might replace the person or provide the support, right? So it is all based on the problem, but the fundamental remains same. Don't take action immediately, like you hear something, suddenly you drop an email or suddenly you go and do it. Never do that. First understand the problem and list all the solution based on the stakeholders, right? Like who is going to impact, okay, what is the best way, right? What is the best way that help them to solve this problem, right? And also list the trade-offs. So what is trade-offs, right? By solving this problem, or like by providing a particular solution, definitely there might be loss of time, cost, risk, quality of the deliverable, right? So we have to list all these, and we being a leader should identify what is the right approach to solve this problem. One way is like if there is if you are giving an option for stakeholders, give them all the options. Okay, you can either pick option A, that might take more time. Either you can take option B, that has a better solution and faster solution, but it's costly, right? And if you are taking other option, there is a quality compromise. And when you go with all these approaches, right, we should always have a say from our end. It's not like we are taking the decision, but we are giving all these options. then we can conclude. If you are sending an email, right, let me take that example. There is an issue or a problem like on a deliverable, like our client is expecting something to be delivered by tomorrow, but we know that it takes another 3 4 days to deliver, right? It's a very common scenario around us. So what we do, right? First, list what we can accomplish in that time. Can we do everything? If the answer is no, so what we can deliver by tomorrow, right? Because if they are expecting something by tomorrow, they may have a demo or they may have something, right? So list what we can deliver in that particular time, one way. And if we add more resources or if we like do something, can we deliver all these things? If so, what is that option? And what is the trade-off if we are going to implement? Definitely, like, we might be able to deliver everything tomorrow, but we may not be able to do a quality, or maybe we may not be able to do a unit test. So there is a very high risk, like the quality of the deliverable is not met, right? So we can set that expectation like, okay, we can deliver everything, but we are not accountable for the quality. But in parallel, as we committed, by the third day we will deliver an updated version with the quality. So this way, stakeholder get that option. Okay, they can decide. Okay, do they need quality over deliverable, or are they okay with three items with quality or 6 items without quality? So they can take the choice. So here we are not pressurizing our dev team, or we are not even putting pressure on the stakeholders. We are trying finding a middle ground and telling that, okay, this is the advantage, this is the disadvantage. So let us find what is best. And we would always suggest to go with 3 with quality. But if you are like looking for to show more features than how the product work, definitely go with 6, right? So here when we talk, we are not just looking at a development perspective. We are looking at stakeholder perspective. We are looking at as well at all the sides, right? We are making sure that our dev team is not strained. At the same time, we are also making sure that stakeholder expectations are met. In some cases, we also might run into some stakeholder. They definitely need quality and these things. So that also some kind of scenario which might be rare. So one way which you can deal is like, you can explain like why we are not suggesting this cannot be done. And if you think that, okay, adding more resources might solve the problem, you can definitely work with your functional team and deliver the solution. So it is all about trade-offs and bringing everyone in same page, transparency, right? Even from the day when I was talking the same topic, like communication, transparency, trust, all these things matters, even it's a problem solving or handling a problem, right? See, here in this approach, we are only giving them a solution, how we can like get rid of this particular scenario in less impact, right? Rather than if we say that, okay, we already committed 3 days, we'll only deliver you on that day, it doesn't help the stakeholder to do their demo tomorrow, and it also create a negativity between the dev team on the stakeholders. And as I said, right, I have already covered that point. Choose the balanced option. How do you choose the balanced option? Bring everyone in same meeting and discuss, okay, these are the options which I can give you, right? So it has uh, option A has this advantages, and these are the disadvantages. Option B, this. Option C, this. And from my perspective, I'm like taking option B because of this reason. And we will let others to choose their options, right? Because at the same time, this shouldn't be like overloading anybody. And at the same time, we all have the utmost priority of the quality of the deliverable and as well as the deliverable, right? Because maybe this demo, which as I took the example earlier, maybe this demo might be winning a bigger business. So we may have to stretch. So sometimes, like when we add additional resources or stretch, we have to see, okay, what is the value add, right? Why this is being done, right? So we have to onboard, right? We cannot tell our dev team to extend their hours. So what we have to do is like, we have to provide like maybe additional combo of all these things and bring them on board on the process, saying that, okay, this is why you have to extend your time, because we have a client deliverer, this was unexpected, this would have been come earlier. So whatever you think, right, have the transparent communication and bring your team on boarded. So it shouldn't be like, okay, you should work and deliver it. No, bring them, talk to them, make them understand the priority, the value at which you are giving to the organization by putting that extra effort, right? And how you can compensate that, right? That brings them confidence, and they will also be involved in the process, and you'll also be able to like make them motivated even they are putting extra effort. Yeah, communication and confidence. So one, communication, as I said, like bring everyone on board, um, give the utmost clarity and like whatever the support which you can give to the team, right? You should do that. And when you like solve the problem, when you are going to list the problem and demonstrating it, be confident. Be very confident. If you how much ever time you have to spend on the background before going for the meeting, do that. And stay confident, like whatever the approaches, whatever the solutions which you are listing and what you are recommending, right? Be confident on that. Because if you are, how you deliver matter, right? When somebody run into an issue, and if you're going say that okay, it may work, we can try that, those kind of like words, right, which does not bring confidence in other, and you may have to prove it. But if you say that okay, I know this is what it is and this is the trade-offs and I can deliver it by tomorrow, and I'm taking the responsibility, right? The way you talk, the way you deliver the words, the accountability or responsibility when you take, right? Because you already taken the ownership of it. You said okay, I'm taking the responsibility and I'll deliver it by tomorrow. Here I'm taking the responsibility and I'm taking the ownership of it, and I with my team I'll deliver it. So now the one who on the other end who is saying this is a problem is no longer worried, because they know that I take the responsibility and I can answer. So when you being a leader, when you are going to give a work to somebody, make sure that you have somebody who is accountable for, so that like you can ask them what is going on, how it is delayed, or will that be on time, right? So that's an additional point which I just added. And when you solve a problem, right? Here let us take this example of like the immediate delivery of this items, right? How do we deal with that? Okay, we have a plan and we have a solution. So how to prevent this going forward? Because we cannot tell our team to work every day overloaded, right? So we have to have that stakeholder communication and tell them okay, why it may have delayed, right? Is there a communication does this come unexpectedly? Okay, if it is coming from unexpectedly from client and it can happen again, so what we can do as a team to avoid the situation in future, right? So this kind of like proactive step, additional effort, that is how like bring you stand out from the crowd, right? Because you being a leader, you being an experienced person, would be able to support the group, and not just supporting the group to solve the problem. You take that additional step and go back and make sure that this issue never happen again, right? So that is how a leader stand out, and I want all of you to think like a leader. And now in this AI era, like there is less of a developer or more of a leaders, right? Because you make the system work and you make somebody to work, right? So just to conclude, speed without clarity creates more problem. That says like if you are like hurry right? Hurry and try to solve the problem. Okay, there is an issue, I need to fix it, right? Yes, we all need to fix that problem, but did you do enough background work? Did you do enough exploration on like what is the issue, why it goes, and what is the root cause, and how this is going to be solved, right? So you got to be working in that perspective. So that is what the statement say, like without clarity create more problems. Maybe you fix some piece of it, as I said in the previous video. If you fix some piece of it, the other piece break, right? So we don't want that to happen. So understand that holistically. When you are leader, you drive that entire show and make sure that this kind of problem never arise. Take that action, bring everyone on same page, have that clarity in communication, and take the ownership and deliver it. So this is what I wanted to summarize on the problem solving. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of the day.